Broskies. Why I viciously hate daytime approach. It may actually surprise you to say that, to hear that. Given how much I talk about approach on this channel and how important I actually do think it is. I think it's the first time in a lot of guys' life when they're dealing with women, it's the first time they realize they've been truly lied to, especially in the West, about the nature of things. So it's an important passage to go through, right? Rite of passage, dealing with the female, right? Obviously there's many different ways for that to transpire. Daytime approach, though, why I viciously hate daytime approach. I actually wonder if anyone likes it. Here's one thing I thought. Does anyone actually enjoy daytime approach solo? There's definitely a caveat there if you're with people. I actually do enjoy, I do enjoy sessions with mates. So yeah, this is kind of, because then it's almost more like a night out, but you just do it in the daytime. But when you're doing a solo session, it actually feels even, if you go to clubs a lot, you go solo to a club, it's not the same at all, right? But daytime approach, I find even worse solo, like truly. So yeah, reasons why I viciously hate it. Hopefully you know I can't not be being authentic here, because like, why the fuck would I say this on a channel where I talk about approach and I actually, I do promote the art form. But I think there's another side to it which you gotta fucking know about, man. So the positive sides, very briefly, it develops you, it's good self-development. It's definitely a good little bit of spice in your latte. In the day, go out, do a few approaches, or you know, one or two. You can bring good girls into your life through it, and it does give you some social momentum, social steroids. It breaks you out of a lot of barriers, right? It breaks you out of a lot of barriers personally, right? Personally. So those are the positives, but what are the negatives? The negatives. Solo, it's a big energetic drain. It's fucking difficult to do a solo session where you go and do 10 approaches. It is really one of the hardest things I've done emotionally, because you do look like it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird, which is why nobody does it. It's weird in most countries, right? So you know, on some level, you're doing something unusual. For me, that takes an energetic burst to get myself through. And so at the end of it, I'm like, I've only got so many rounds in the chamber, and at the end I'm actually depleted. So those are the first, so that's one reason. There's a kind of energetic depletion. I've never done sessions where I felt super energized like the day after. There's usually like, I have to resettle myself and go again, right? So that's solo. Again, with mates, yeah, it's just like having a night out in the day, so it's actually fun. Let's talk about the negative responses when you're out in the day. The negative responses, right? A lot of girls don't know how to be approached, and that's fine. Some girls, it's very much beyond their capacity to respond to. Some girls, I find my least favorite responses are when the girl is scared, or when she kind of forcibly ignores me. I find those two quite annoying, to be honest. Grow up, like, but whatever. They can do whatever they want. They're not obligated to talk to me. I honestly, I don't mind someone saying, yeah, look, I'm not interested in talking to you. I'm actually fine with that. When a girl looks intimidated, that's one I never really get, but I suppose it's just more food for thought, that like, they are small little things. Any grown man, I mean, is a major threat to them. Yeah, like major threat to them. So maybe that's understandable. But I don't want to put someone in that space, and so those reactions, that reverberates back onto me, and I find it hard in the moment not to feel like a bit of a freak, like I've done something wrong there. So those are my least favorite reactions. And when you're solo, you absorb that all on your own. It all just fucking hits you and goes through you. Whereas when you're with a mate, you just fucking laugh it off, because it is quite funny. So fucking hell, she was scared. When you're on your own, you're just like, who you looking at? Like, there's no one to talk to. You're just there. Right? There's much more depleting. Are the highs higher if you're on your own? Potentially, I don't know. Yeah, I think they probably are. The sense of triumph is almost like, it is almost godlike, to be honest, when you're solo. But it's still good when you're with people as well. So yeah, you got to absorb a lot solo. I think the other thing as well for me is I've built up a lot of stuff, a lot of life. You know, I just built up a lot of life. And so part of my brain is going, when I go out to do a solo session, or even any session now, I'm like, you want to do this? Like, really? You want to do this? Let me give you an example. This, like, my brain's going, this is all you've got to get women? Are you fucking joking? So if I give you an example, let's say when I was in a scene, a club scene, we'd be out, and you would still have to approach, but it was much more warm, and you also had wings with you, and the girls were also dressed up, and a lot of them ready to be approached as well. And you're much more pre-qualified, right? Same with when I had a club promotion as well. I was very pre-qualified, and so I did get quite a few girls through that promotion, and even some girls, like, I didn't get with them, but I got with their mate or something, whatever. It was a lot easier. The video I did on how club promoters and bouncers, whatever, bartenders, basically have a cheat code. You know, I was in that cheat code, like I was doing it, right? So my brain now is like, my mind is like, you're going out like a pigeon looking for pieces of bread. That's the best you can do. And I think that almost every session I go on when I'm alone, yeah, literally. So, although it's good development, there is a part of me which is going, fucking hell, dude, like, really? There's also what I call hitting the wall. I think this thing goes in bursts, where you have a burst of a few sessions and it's good, and then you basically, I found I hit a wall. It happened to me in Brazil, happened to me in the DR, it's just started to happen to me in Serbia, and it almost is like torture. It's like, you do a couple of approaches, and then I just find my energy just goes straight down. I'm like, you want to go through the fucking street and walk around? I do a set, it goes well or it doesn't, I bottle a set, and there's all these ups and downs, and I'm like, what's even the reward out of this? A shag. Genuinely, like, why not just fuck a prostitute? I'm not even joking. That's what my brain started to come up with now. It's like, if I just look at the time investment, it might be a better investment. I know when I'm starting to think like that, I've got to make some changes. The other thing is, from session to session, every session is a new session, right? You can't build up any momentum, right? It's a nuts thing to realize. I realized that on my immersion. It was like, every day is a new day, right? Whereas when you're in a scene, every day builds on the last, and the last, and the last, and the last. You build up momentum socially with the girls. I remember the night that I pulled a girl who was my girlfriend for a couple of years. She was an ex-stripper, 21-year-old ex-stripper, extremely hot, extremely fucking cool. And I pulled two girls in front of her that night. We went out, had an afters, and all these girls came back. I pulled 2 in front of her that night, and that's eventually, the hypergamy, whatever. I eventually pulled her, and I wanted her the whole time anyway, but it was just fucking insane, dude. It was insane. And that type of thing, like, you can't really pull that off in the day. Can't pull that off in the day. I think it's a lack of support. It's a lack of support. So yeah. Reasons why I viciously despise daytime approach. I still do it anyway. But I'm thinking at the moment, maybe let's reduce the weekday session. Just go out and just do one. Yeah. I think there's an arrogance as well. There is an arrogance in me, which is like, but I think it's justified. It's like, bro, why are you approaching? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Look at your life. Why are you even bothered? Who the fuck is this girl? I think that's justified, to be honest. And then, interestingly, when I reflect upon that, the place I'm enjoying approaching right now is in a very, very high-end mall. I do enjoy that because I feel like the girls are worthy of the approach. I'm like, okay, this girl's worthy. Yeah, she's worthy of it. Girls are also not in a space where they want to get laid when you're out on the streets, whereas they are in nightlife. I can't grind a girl up and get her pussy wet in the streets, whereas I can do that in nightlife. Yeah. There's definitely benefits to the nighttime for sure. Nighttime often there's a concentration of babes, which you don't have in the daytime. You don't have to walk around for fucking 10 kilometers just to get some numbers. So yeah, that's my little rant about daytime approach. But I think it's important to actually, in a way, mention these things. It clears the air a bit for myself mentally, and it is important to know this stuff. If you think you're going to come in and do daytime approach and frankly that you're even going to enjoy it, I doubt it. I doubt it. This is what's lacking in the space at the moment. This is what I'm hoping to get going in the entourage for myself anyway, is actually meeting up with guys. Then we can enjoy a session. Yeah. All the shit I did in nightlife, which is like, dozens upon dozens and dozens of girls, threesomes, all this shit was all fun. It was enjoyable. I wasn't pounding the fucking clubs. I was like enjoying mostly, Yeah. So anyway, it is what it is. It's weird the fluctuations, man. It's weird the fluctuations with this whole thing. How we can go up, we can go down. Fucking crazy thing. So yeah, I would like to be doing more meetups with mates, with wings, do things more that way. Keep myself in the high-end spots. If I am going to go and do a daytime session, just do 2 or 3 in a very high-end spot where the girls are pre-qualified. I almost think part of me honestly is like, it's almost weird a guy like me approaching like a girl in a tracksuit or something. It's actually fucking weird. It's desperate. Whereas it's not weird to me to approach a gorgeous Russian or Montenegrin girl in the mall. Like, that makes sense. It makes sense to them as well. So I think venue's important. Start to select the daytime venues in the way that I would select club venues. That's a good mental, a new viewpoint for me. But yeah, I want to be doing, if I am going to be doing street, I want to be doing it more with friends, to be honest. This is not a solo sport. I'm still playing it solo, unfortunately. It's because there's so few people who play it. That's the problem. So yeah, we'll leave things there for tonight. Lots of upsides to daytime approach, but a lot of downsides. A lot. Yeah. I think the guys who are new to it, it's almost an advantage to be honest. If you've not had any other type of social life, it can be an advantage. In a sense, you've never had easy approaches, so you don't even know what it's like anyway. Whereas if you've had, let me say the dance teacher from the other week, I know his exact scene, I know his space that he's in. On the DJ, they both got laid with the hottest girls in that venue, and they didn't do anything. They didn't approach anyone. They just did their thing, talked to a few girls, they just picked the one they liked because they were already at the center. Contrast that with what we're doing in daytime approach. Different thing, right? It's almost like the difference between cold call outreach and having like an incredibly strong brand, like just like, you know, you just put your Nike trainers on the shelf. If you've never had that anyway, you don't miss it because you never had it to begin with. So I'm not complaining. It's a good process, even if at times I do genuinely hate it. Well, most of the time, actually. I think that was what, after I left the DR, I'd done a full year of daytime approach. And then when I started to continue on doing it, I think my brain was like, dude, are you fucking serious? We've done a year of this, and it's been fucking torture mostly. Apart from when I had my mate who came out. That was actually fun. But apart from that, it's basically been fucking torture. Whatever results you've got, yeah. I think this year, like, I'm doing it again, my brain is going, dude, I thought it was 1 year. Are you actually serious? You know, it's the conversation in my head. So yeah, this is a no bullshit channel. This is the real thing. I'm sure there's a lot of guys who do daytime approach who felt like this, if not all, to be honest. So I think it's important to show this side of it as well. And yeah, we'll leave things there for today.